Hi, this is Katina, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about cleaning and disinfecting, or at least the best we can disinfect, our clarinets. We're going to start at the beginning with the very first thing you should do before you play: wash your hands. If you can't wash your hands before you play, you can use some hand sanitizer, the gel or the wipes or the spray. Now, the reason why we need to wash our hands is think about how you're touching the keys, you're touching the reed, you're touching your mouth and the ligature and the mouthpiece, a whole bunch of things you're touching. So you're going to want to make sure that you have clean hands. All right, let's talk about the reed. You've been sick, it's a bummer, you love the reed, it's time to say goodbye. There are other reeds in the world. Reeds hold on to germs like nobody's business. Now, if you were in love with that reed, you can soak it in some hydrogen peroxide. It will bubble up with all the bacteria, which will show you how dirty it was. But your reed will be a little bit dried out from what you're used to, but it'll still work. Now, let's talk about the ligature. Later, we'll talk about that with the keys of the clarinet. Now, mouthpiece-wise, you want to be very careful with the mouthpiece. Most of our mouthpieces are pressurized rubber, plastic, or crystal, so they can get damaged very easily. If you look it up online, they'll have instructions to use a mouthpiece brush. I don't recommend it because it can scratch and damage your mouthpiece. We're going to use a paper towel and we're going to use a cloth to clean our mouthpiece today. And you can also use a very soft toothbrush. So one of the great ways to clean it is this steri spray. A lot of band directors have. If you have some of this, you can go ahead and use that. If you don't have it and your band director doesn't have it, there's a lot of other great ways that we can clean our mouthpiece that are actually more thorough. What we're going to do first is get a glass of water, fill it up about a quarter of the way, and we're going to put our mouthpiece in. And don't let the liquid go above here. You don't want any liquid to touch your cork because it can damage the cork and the glue that holds the cork on. So I'm going to put the mouthpiece in here, and then we're going to fill it halfway with some, this is mouthwash, antiseptic mouthwash, and then you have a nice, fresh, minty tasting mouthpiece. You can also use some of the hydrogen peroxide that I talked about with the reed, and you can also use some vinegar as well for cleaning your mouthpiece. So we're going to go ahead and let that soak in there. Grabbing our clarinets, what you want to do is just go ahead and brush any dust out from the keys. So see if you can get under here, and you can just brush in here, get all the dust and dirt out. Try not to touch the corks, and definitely don't touch the pads. It's easy to damage our pads, so you want to avoid those as much as you can. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, but I'm using a real pipe cleaner that I got from a tobacco shop. So if you can get one of these or get somebody to buy one for you, they're great. Make sure you get the softest one you can. Some of them are rough, just like I was talking about with those mouthpiece patches, or the mouthpiece brushes. Okay. Q-tip will also work really nicely. So we're going to get in here, and I folded mine over so that I'm not using the pointy part at the end. I don't want to scratch the wood. And you can go ahead and clean out these tone holes like that. You'd be amazed at how much junk accumulates in the tone holes. It is disgusting because it's probably dead skin and dirt. Also, it can affect your intonation. So if you're finding you're having some intonation problem around here, go ahead and check your tone holes and you can go clean those out. Okay, so we've cleaned off our tone holes and just brushed off the wood. So the keys themselves can have some bacteria on it. I have a wooden clarinet, so I don't recommend this for a wooden clarinet touching the wood. You can use a hand sanitizer wipe to just go over the keys a little bit, especially where you would touch it, but don't touch the wood, okay? Because it can dry out your wood. If you get a little bit on your wood, just go ahead and wipe it off real fast. And if you have boar oil, you can just touch it up with some boar oil. But you can go ahead and touch the keys with this hand sanitizer wipe to get some of that bacteria that is teeming all over your body off of the keys there, and go ahead and let it sit. And then I'm bringing the ligature back in, and I'm just going to go ahead and give my ligature a wipe down. Now, what I really want to know is, I've heard coconut oil has antibacterial properties. If we could use coconut oil on the wood, then we are getting the wood nice and, moisturized, which is what we want from wooden clarinets, and having antibacterial properties. So if you know anything about coconut oil, antibacterial properties, let me know in the comments. If you have a plastic clarinet, one of these will work okay to wipe down your plastic clarinet. Just be aware that I have seen plastic clarinets melt a little bit with either sunscreen on them or bug spray on them. in the sun. So as long as you don't have your clarinet in the sun, you should be fine. Okay, we are going to get our mouthpiece back. So here's our mouthpiece, and just go ahead and wipe it down. I didn't talk about the mouthpiece patch. I kept mine on, but if you feel strongly that you were pretty sick and your mouthpiece patch is contaminated, go ahead and toss that mouthpiece patch as well and put a new one on there. I'm going to get a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on this cloth, and I'm going to now rub the clarinet mouthpiece more than what you can do with soaking. And I'm going to make sure that I go around this edge of the mouthpiece patch because a lot of gunk tends to accumulate there. And for me, around the edge of the mouthpiece, I get a lot of stuff there as well. So I'm going to rub that one as well. Then I'm going to get a little bit of that hydrogen peroxide on a paper towel, and I'm going to roll it into a point, and then I'm going to pull it through the mouthpiece. I'm going to attempt to pull it through the mouthpiece, and that way I can clean the inside more. Okay, so we've cleaned the clarinet as much as we can. So lastly, I want to talk to you about your swab. When we swab our clarinets, and you always do it from the bottom, right? And we drop it in here and we clean it out. It fills with spit and our gross bacteria and viruses and everything else in our sadness. When we finish and we ball it up and we stick it in our case, it's not clean. So I highly recommend cleaning your swab, washing it by hand in a sink with a little bit of detergent and hot water, and then rinsing it and hanging it out to dry is going to be the way to go. If you don't want to do that, you can put it in a laundry bag and you can wash it with your delicates in the wash. But that I would suggest using cold water because these are usually very bright colors and they will run, and you don't want that because that'll be a big mess. All right, thanks for watching. Did I miss anything? Do you have a way that you prefer to clean your clarinet? Comment below. Let me know what your method of cleaning your clarinet is. Thank you for watching. Bye.